if you're an entrepreneur and you run a business and you're ambitious, you very likely have this idea of what success looks like in your mind, and the gap between where you are now and where it is that you want to be is painfully large. And as you go on your journey, you wake up every day, you are relentlessly trying to bridge that gap. There is nothing more that you want than to hit those goals, than to live that lifestyle, than to be just to see yourself as that person who has the freedoms that that person possesses, whether it's financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. We all have this image in our head, and that gap causes us a lot of stress, causes us pain, suffering, causes us to have doubts, to be confused. I don't understand why am I not getting any closer, right? Moments of confusion are also very common for the experience of the entrepreneur. And if you've been going through this, and particularly for those of you who have went through this experience and are going through this experience, and you're actually trying really hard, but no matter how hard you try and what you try to do, everything just does not seem to be working or working at the speed at which you want it to work, then this video is for you. The reason why I understand this, I understand that pain so much, is because that has been me for the last 9 years. I jumped into business 9 years ago, and I've had this vision, this level of success that I've wanted to achieve for the past 9 years, and have experienced that pain and frustration for the past 9 years for not being able to bridge the gap between where I am now and where it is that I want to be. And it wasn't until recently, within the last 3 months, that I finally had a breakthrough and understood why I was not breaking through, why I was not growing, why I was not growing at the pace at which I wanted to, and what that missing piece of the puzzle was that's now going to set me on that trajectory. And in this video, I promise to share that with you. And I promise to walk you through exactly how I went about doing this to be on this path. Now, I'm still working towards bridging the gap, but I no longer have doubts, confusion, or feelings of frustration that I haven't bridged it yet, because I know what I need to do in order to bridge it. It's become super clear. So bear with me as I get through this video, okay? Let's start by talking about what I tried to do, which is very likely what you've tried to do. Signs of you working on the wrong thing is when you start to, number one, think, I need to work longer hours. That's what I'm missing. I need to work harder. That's what I'm missing. I need to change my industries. It's the business model that I'm in. That's what I'm missing. It's the vehicle that I'm in. That's what I'm missing. It's the team that I have. That's what I'm missing. It's the offer that I have. That's what I'm missing, right? It's my creatives. It's my ability to sell. It's my list goes on and on and on, right? When you find yourself going down a path of thinking that way, that is very likely why you're stuck. Because what you're trying to do is figure out the how do I put this? It's so hard to communicate it. It's such an abstract idea. I understand it in my mind. I'll do my best to figure it out. What you're trying to focus on is fixing the problems in your business, or the perceived problems that you think you have, when the actual problem is you. And when you're trying to fix business problems, when you yourself are the problem, no matter how hard you try at trying to solve the problems in your business, you will always fail. And thinking about it now, one of the best examples I can give you is trying to solve a mathematical problem, but you believe that 1 + 1 = 3, and 1 × 1 = square, and 1 - 1 = 2000. Okay, now let's imagine for a second that you believe these things. I forgot what I even said, but let's say 1 + 1 = 3. And you get given a math problem, and that math problem is your business problem, right? And solving your business problems is going to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And what you're trying to do is sit there and try to solve this mathematical equation. You come at it from every angle possible. Oh, it's not right. I need to do this and I need to do that. And I've got this part of the equation wrong. And I need to go get smarter and I need to work harder. I need to spend an extra 2,000 hours trying to solve this problem. That's what I'm missing, right? I need to get a mentor who's going to help me solve this problem. But the whole time, you were the problem. You had the wrong understanding of things. Like you were the issue. You brought the wrong foundations, the wrong fundamentals to try and solve this problem. And that's what's happening in your business. And to circle back to what I said before, the problem is not the business, right? It's you. And the shift that you need to make to finally break through is to put all your attention and focus on becoming the person who has all of those things that you envision you will have. And then by default, that person, not your current self, that person will have no problem solving these issues. So it's like the chicken or the egg. Like what comes first? Do you solve your business problems and make your millions of dollars, then become this person? Or do you become that person and then the millions and the success comes? It's the latter. I promise you. I promise you. I've been through this before. And I look back at my life where I understood this correctly. I look back at a time when I was 19 years old, dropped out of university and understood this concept. And I said to myself back then, in order for me to become worth $1 million one day, I have to become worth $1 million. Value. I need to be able to bring $1 million worth of value to whatever it is I'm doing. And so all I focused on was self-education, self-development. I focused on me. I was trying to be the best version of myself. And that led me to getting out of 30K in debt and building a successful agency, scaling that agency up, getting my dream offers, buying my dream car, hiring a massive team, or not a massive team, but a strong team. I think we were a head count of 8 full-time staff at one point inside my old marketing agency. And I was able to really help my family and change my life in such a massive way. But somewhere along the way, I forgot that. I forgot that I got there in the first place by just focusing on me, on becoming the person who was worthy of that level of success. And then by the time I had forgotten, I started obsessively focusing on solving business problems like you are now, like I was before. And that's when I began to stagnate again. So let's circle back. We're trying to solve business problems, but we're trying to solve them as the wrong person. So accept this, no matter how hard you work, how many hours you work, it doesn't matter what your offer is. It doesn't matter how your business is structured, what industry you're in, what niche you're in. None of those things matter, okay? They help. Now, don't get me wrong. I will expand on the fact that obviously a really strong offer makes a difference. A good sales process makes a difference. The better your team is. You hire a team of superstars, you're going to have a better business. But the point of what I'm trying to make is you won't be able to recruit superstars because you're not a superstar yourself. You won't be able to develop the best product because you yourself you literally lack the knowledge and the foundations to even understand what a good offer is or build a good product. You aren't that guy. You're not that guy, my man, or whatever they say, right? Like you ain't that guy. So what you need to do, and what I've done, is you need to become very clear, firstly, with what it is you want to accomplish. Now, if you haven't done that, that is probably a big issue. Like most of us here have an idea on what it is that where it is we want to get to. So it could be a number. It could be a profit number you want to achieve per month. It could be, imagine the lifestyle you want to live. You know, I've mentored people and their dreams were, I want to, work in Dubai. Okay, that's a lifestyle choice. So you want to have the freedom of location. You want someone said, I want to make 50K per month net profit because if I did that, I'd be able to have financial freedom and be able to pay off my dad's, mortgage. Whatever it is, get clear on that. The number, the lifestyle, you need to get super, super clear on that. The car you want to drive, the house you want to live in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, once you've become very clear on what that success looks like, then I want you to actually sit down and take a moment to close your eyes and visualize what you look like and who that guy is. Now, I'm crazy, right? I took it to another level. I imagined myself meeting my future self. So I closed my eyes. I really got into a really deep meditative state. And I imagined walking into the house of my future dream self and him opening the door and me meeting him. Now, when I saw him, now this is me getting a bit crazy, but you'll experience this too. And we are crazy as entrepreneurs, where we're crazy to even think that we can take a vision and bring it into reality, but we do time and time again. And so risk being a little bit crazy with me here. When I saw him, when I saw my dream self, I didn't see me. Right off the bat, physically, I didn't see who I am right now. Who I am right now, how I look physically, the body fat percentage I have, the weight that I'm at, how my body looks aesthetically. I did not see that. I saw someone in much better shape, significantly better shape. I saw someone who was at sub 10% in body fat. And it's hard to explain, but I saw a particular image that just wasn't who I am right now. So that's the first thing, physically. The second thing was I imagined a certain type of leader who was calm, collected, who lived in abundance and was so sure of himself and so sure that he was going to make everything happen. He was unfazed, right? These are the certain things that I started to develop and I started to see in this person. Well, how did he work? How did he make decisions? Was he afraid to do things like cold calling? Was he afraid to put himself on camera? Was he afraid to fire a staff member when he knew it was necessary? Was he afraid to dream big? What happened? How does this person react when things go wrong in his business? And I imagine he was just cool. He was calm. Things go wrong. Doesn't matter. I look at it objectively. He looks at it objectively and it does not get emotionally swayed by the ups and downs. He's working today for next year. He's a long-term thinker. Anyways, without getting into the details of how I envisioned it for myself, I started to build the identity of this character. I started to build the identity of this character in terms of what knowledge he had, what information he had, how he spoke, how he reacted, how he, how he looked. The list goes on and on. And that's exactly what you need to do. Now, once you've got the image of this person in your head, then the next step, and the only step you need to focus on taking, and if you focus on taking this step, everything else will work itself out, is just becoming that guy. That's it. If at your peak, you imagine him looking a certain way, and let's say the number for you is 1 million a year in profit. If at 1 million a year in profit, you imagine that guy looks a certain way and you do not currently look that way, I promise you, you will not get there unless you change the way you look. So what you need to do, I know it sounds counterintuitive because you would think I'd be giving you advice to spend more time working on your business, but it's not the case. What you need to do is go get yourself in the gym and start correcting the way that you eat and become disciplined and finally get yourself in the shape of the future person that you plan on becoming. Then if you think, well, that person has certain knowledge about philosophy, about business, about sales, about marketing, about leadership that I don't currently have, you don't wait. You don't try to build a business, then have that knowledge. No, you need to go and get that knowledge now. Go and read those books. Go and buy those courses. Go and get that coaching. Go and become that person, right? You don't wait until you're at that level to stop acting emotionally in your business and to become disconnected and to stop worrying about your day-to-day stuff, to stop being afraid to invest, for example. Like that guy in the future for me, never worried about spending money, never worried about it, wasn't afraid to spend money. to hire people, to invest into marketing, to invest into coaching, wasn't afraid to spend, especially if he knew that the dollar he was spending in the long term was going to bring him an ROI. He would find a way to spend that money. Now that was different to my previous identity. Now I've started to act as that guy. Now that's all you need to do. That is literally all you need to do. But trust me, the majority of you will start to do this, and you will finally understand the actual reality of the level of suffering and pain you need to put yourself through to actually get to that level, and you will not get through it. You just won't. And I'm not doubting you, but that's just going to be the reality. And I hope you're not that person. I hope you're the person who starts to feel those feelings of resistance, of when you know you need to get to the gym, but then your body just goes, I don't want to get to the gym. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like working out. And you break through and you're like, no, that's not me anymore. Because that future guy, he goes to the gym. He doesn't let his mind talk him out of going to the gym. He does what he said he was going to do. You should be able to pick up a phone if you're, whatever it is that you're afraid of, you should be willing to face that fear, like picking up the phone and cold calling someone. If that's something that scares you, ask yourself, would my future self, the person that I imagine, would he ever hesitate to pick up the phone and call? I actually was that. Like, I've always done inbound marketing, always created content, run ads. So I haven't had to do cold calling. And I realized, okay, I actually get a bit scared to make a cold call. And someone told me to make a cold call, I'll be like, no, I don't want to, right? But when I asked myself, like, my future self, would he be scared of making a cold call? And I was like, no. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make a cold call. And I talked myself out of it. I was like, I don't need to do this. And I made every excuse under this. And I was like, no, what? Whoa, what's happening here? I'm actually really afraid to do this. I'm facing a lot of resistance. And now I was like, now I need to do this. And I went to make that cold call and I got nervous and my palms started sweating. And I've got a pretty extensive sales background. Like, I know I can sell, but making the cold call made me nervous. And then but I did it. And then I did it again. And then I said to myself, I'm going to make a cold call every day for 30 days. And I set that challenge for myself. And I started making one cold call a day. And I was, every day I'm almost getting rejected because I'm not doing it the right way. I'm not trying to sell anyone, right? I'm not actually trying to get a deal over the line. The point is, I'm facing that resistance, but I'm breaking through. I'm not allowing my old identity to win. And the best way I actually heard it being described was by Charlie Morgan in one of his YouTube videos. And what he said is essentially, every time you feel resistance, as you try to bridge the gap between who you are now and the person you want to be, that's your old self fighting for survival. And the only way to kill him, only way to kill your old self or to slay that dragon is with pain. Pain is your only weapon. And so you have to now be prepared to feel that pain. And the pain is not physical. It's actually a lot more difficult than physical pain because it's emotional pain. It's psychological pain. It's the pain you feel when you really want to do something, but you don't do it. Or you really don't want to do something and then you do it. Or the nervousness you feel prior to making the cold call when your palms are sweating and your heart is pounding, but you still do it. Even though your mind is screaming at you, don't do it, and trying to talk yourself out of it, and you overcome that. That's the pain and resistance that I'm talking about. And if you commit yourself to just bridging the gap and becoming that person, then you will solve every problem or everything that you perceive to be a problem right now. And I can't really explain why that is. I'm sure that there is someone out there who I admire that has probably found a way to really explain this. But the best way I can try to explain it to you is by maybe giving you a couple of examples from myself. So I always avoided cold calling. And then I said to myself, would my future self ever be worried or scared to make a cold call? No, he would pick up the call and call anyone. Doesn't care. He doesn't have a fear of rejection, but my current self does. And so I actually broke through and I made that cold call. But something happened. Because I made that cold call, I taught myself a lesson, which was I can do hard things. And I'm in control of my mind. And by teaching myself that lesson, well, I started to respect my own self more. And because I started developing this identity that, oh, wow, I overcame my fear. Even though my mind was telling me not to call, I still called. So I'm the type of person who still does hard things even when I don't want to. So then the next time time comes around to go gym and my mind goes, don't go. I'm like, no, I'm going. So then that caused me to go to the gym. And then on a day where maybe I didn't feel like working and I felt like procrastinating, immediately my mind was like, no, I'm working. And then the list goes on, right? Like whatever it is, it's not the act of making the cold call, but it's the lesson, the habit that's been built. I've started to respect myself more. I've developed this identity that I do hard things. I face hard, I do challenges. Like another example is I cold shower every single morning. I start my day that way. I'll go in, have a warm shower, and then I will always turn the cold shower on. And it's been super cold here in Melbourne. And so it's been icy cold water and I step under it. And I do that because I want to teach myself right from when I wake up, because I shower in the morning. I want to start my day saying to my mind, I'm in control. And I can't even begin to explain how many areas of your life gets influenced by you being able to do something like that. Stepping under a cold shower. And I know there's a lot of jokes around like, oh, there's people out there, I became a millionaire and did this without doing a cold shower. And I respect that. I respect the fuck out of it, right? But that person may have never had the problem of overcoming their thoughts. So they didn't need to, right? But everyone has their own issues. Some people, just getting up and working is hard. Literally just sitting down and trying to write ad copy is difficult. For someone like that, having a cold shower would be an amazing exercise. But for those who were really successful and said they got there without having coffee, they probably never had an issue. And why they never had an issue probably comes back down to their childhood, the way they were raised, their experiences. They probably developed this paradigm, this way of thinking, this habit of just doing hard things. They're always able to work, always able to get the shit done at a very early stage. And I don't want to get into that now, but if you're someone who struggles to do hard things, then doing things like cold calling and cold showering and anything that creates resistance is going to be very good for you. So anyways, I think you understand the premise here, the idea. Get very clear about the person you want to become, the person you need to become in order to achieve the success, and then put all your attention and focus and energy in becoming that person, and have faith that the success will work itself out. The business will work itself out. You'll make the right decisions by just becoming that guy. Trust that guy. That guy will solve the problems that you currently have. Because when you become that guy, or you work on becoming that guy, and even something like this, like let's say that guy that you imagine is incredible at marketing. He's just a marketing savant. Like, he understands sales and marketing. He's a machine. So then to become that guy, you go and you start reading books. And then that in that one book that you read, you get the answer to the problem that you've been having for the last 6 months. And with that answer, you solve the problem, and then your business explodes. But it wouldn't have happened the other way around, because you would have been trying to solve this math problem in your business, but thinking 1 + 1 = 3. You literally don't even have the information. Focus on becoming that guy. And then in the process, that person and the knowledge that person develops and the habits that person develops and who that person is solves all of these issues. Okay? I think I've sent my point across. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with someone who you care about, who you want to see succeed. Let them watch this, especially if you know that they're a little bit frustrated in the position they're in. If you want to watch more of my content, hit that like and subscribe button. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.